Hello bakers, welcome back to the Cakers channel. Thank you very much for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a very important cake decorating technique. This method is called the upside down paneling method. I use this technique to cover my cakes in fondant. It works perfectly for me and I hope that you will enjoy it too. If you would like to see how I achieve this look, please stay to the end of this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more cake decorating tutorials. As you can see, I cover the top of my cake first with some fondant. I roll out a thin piece of fondant and cover the top of my cake. Then I cut away the excess fondant from around the sides, leaving a bit of the fondant hanging down. I then spread some cornstarch on the top of the cake and on another cake board, and I'm going to be flipping the cake now. So just watch as I do this flip. So I'm carefully flipping the cake over. That's where the upside down method comes in. So once I flip it, I'm going to be using just a spatula to carefully separate the cake from my cake board. It wasn't hard to do. I didn't even have to use a spatula. And I had a piece of non-slip mat underneath my 6-inch cake board, so that's what I just removed. I'm now using the spatula to go around the cake to just remove any excess buttercream that was there. Something that is very important to do, as you saw me do just now, is to use a ruler or any measuring equipment that you have to measure the height of your cake and properly guesstimate or measure an accurate circumference of your cake so that you can roll out enough fondant to cover the circumference of your cake. Once you've rolled the fondant to the correct length and width, you're going to spread some cornstarch all over it and then you're going to roll it up in your rolling pin. The cornstarch is to prevent the fondant from sticking to itself while you roll it up. I carefully unroll the fondant from my rolling pin as I slowly go around the cake. I'm using my fondant smoothing tool with some cornstarch to just rub out any imperfections and to get rid of any trapped air that's underneath the fondant. I'm now using my X-Acto blade to cut a straight line along the fondant where it overlaps. And I normally choose this bit of the cake to be the back of my cake. So where I cut away the fondant, I'm now joining the two pieces of fondant and I will use my cake smoother again to just smooth it out, and sometimes I get a seamless finish at the back. But if it's not completely gone, don't worry about that. Any decoration you're adding to the cake, most times you'll be able to use a decoration to hide the line that's at the back of the cake. Keep on going around the cake with your fondant tool to just push out any air pockets. Believe me, any tiny air pockets that left underneath that fondant, it will just expand. So use tiny pins or any pointy fondant tools that you have to just poke those air pockets and get the air out. Then you use your smoothing tool and you just smooth it out. Don't worry about those tiny needle points. They will not be very visible when you're finished decorating your cake. And I'm just using a very sharp fondant tool again to cut away the excess fondant from the bottom of my cake, which will be the top of the cake. So here I am now flipping the cake again to reveal the beautiful, sharp, crisp edges at the top. Just look at that. This method will be a game changer. So make sure you give it a try and drop a comment down below to tell me what you think, okay? So I got tired in the night and I decided to put my fondant cake in the refrigerator. This is a very hot point for a lot of bakers, wondering if they can actually refrigerate a cake that has been covered in fondant. The simple answer to that is yes, you can. So what I did, I wrapped the fondant cake in cling film and I just placed it in the refrigerator. I'm in the UK, it's very cold, so once I remove it from the refrigerator, the temperature in the fridge was not that different from what was in my kitchen, so I did not have issues with condensation. Let us jump into the fun bit of decorating this cake. So this is the cake that I made the Super Mario face for. I'm just using my airbrush with some green, leaf green airbrush color to spray the bottom of the cake to give that grass effect. That's what I'm going for. I'm happy with it, and make sure you clean up your cake boards as you go along. I'm not going to be speaking much here, just watch as I make the beautiful fondant decorations for the cake. So I'm just making some little circles to put the client's name on it. So the celebrant was Adam, and I have 4 circles, and I'm using my tiny letter cutters to cut out the name. So just to keep you updated, what I'm doing here, I'm just making all the little decorations, all the things that you'll basically see in the Super Mario game. So the stars, the coins, all the little rewards, that little floral tree that opens up and eats you if you step on the bucket. So I'm making all of those little decorations. So just enjoy the music and watch me work. If you're here up to this point, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Remember to hit the like button, share this video with your friends and families, and make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more creative videos, all right? Thank you so much. And this is where the real fun begins. I am putting the whole cake together. So if you've not seen the video where I made the Super Mario face, I'm going to be leaving a link to it down below in the description box. So please check it out. You will see step by step how I made all the beautiful details and how I put that amazing face together and that big nose, right? So please check that video out. What I use for the clouds are just some cloud cutters I bought off Amazon actually, and I just cut some cloud shapes out of white fondant. And for the mushroom that's on the top of the cake, I used a large styrofoam ball. I just cut a bit of the base off so I can have one bit a bit flat, and I just covered it with some red fondant and use the back of my piping tips, that big circle, to just cut out some white circles and use water as my adhesive to just stick the white circles on the red covered foam ball. And that's how I got the mushroom. And the same technique I did for my Super Mario face was what I did to cut out the number 30 that's on top of the cake. I just did 2 different colors in layers to get that amazing effect. So I cut out a large 3 from a red fondant, then I cut a smaller 3 from a blue fondant and just use water to stick them both together. And that's beautiful. I'm just going around the cake now and carefully placing all my decorations. You will see me take things off and put things on. I'm just, playing around to get the perfect effect. That's the beauty of decorating a cake. You get the chance to move things around and get things to where you really want them to be. Some of my clouds weren't sticking really well and they were breaking as they were taking the shape of the cake. The reason for that is because I made them a few days in advance and the fondant was drying out a bit. So what I went ahead and do, I got some more white fondant and I cut out some new clouds, which wasn't hard to do because I was just using a cutter to do that. I am now just carefully placing all the other decorations around the cake just to bring the whole thing together, and look how beautiful that is looking. I am so in love with this cake. If you do like it, remember to like the video and make sure to subscribe, okay? Also, just to let you know, I have decided to start posting cake decorating videos twice per week. One of the videos will be cakes that I do for my clients, and another video will be a cake requested by a viewer. And don't worry, I have amazing plans for those cakes, and you may just be a lucky winner of one of my content cakes, all right? So please make sure to drop a comment down below and tell me what you would like to see me decorating on this YouTube channel. Your voice is very, very important, all right? The coins that I'm placing on the cake, how I made those, I just used the back of my piping tips again and cut out a small circle. Then I use a smaller one to just mark an indent inside that circle. Then I just use a sharp X-Acto blade with a flat top to just mark a little cutout in the middle of the coin, and they're looking perfect. I used a small piece of green fondant to just put some stems on my killer flowers, and the cake is looking beautiful. I do love this design. Don't mind me, I'm just looking around the cake because I have this bad habit. Whatever decorations I make for a cake, I want to put all of them on the cake. Yet still, I don't want it to look too crowded or too messy. So I'm just carefully placing the excess decorations on. And here comes Mr. Steamer. Yeah. So my baby here is steaming away all the cornstarch residue from this cake. And just look how shiny and beautiful that cake is. Make sure to not over steam. Too much steaming is not good. The steam is actual heat and cakes and sugars don't work well, so you can melt your cake from over steaming. What I'm doing here, I have a little black edible marker. I'm trying to put in the little eyes on the stars and the clouds and everything. The marker wasn't working well, so I had to go the hard way. So sometimes when you're decorating, the easier way is not always the way that will make your cake pop. So just go the extra mile and make sure that what you're putting out there is your best. So here I am using some tiny pieces of black fondant to just put some tiny black eyes on all of my stars, on my little mushroom, and everything that needs some eyes. I think I'm finished now, and I'm super happy with this result. Don't worry about me steaming the cake again. I just love that shine effect that the steaming gives. That shine doesn't last. However, I want my cake to look all shiny and pretty for all the photos that I'll be taking. So this is the finished product. I love it. I think it's very nice and neat. My client was super happy with the cake, and if my clients are happy, then I am. If you did like this video, please make sure to drop a comment down below, like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Until next time, keep on baking.